3, 2.
I don't even know why I'm doing all this shit. Oh, hey.
I went live.
I know. I was like, I don't even know why I'm doing this.
We don't know. We don't know, do we? It's like, I always think, like, sitting down, just having a conversation with somebody. Mm-hmm. But just put a microphone in front of you.
Yeah.
Who can just talk for an hour, though?
Nobody.
We're
there's not a lot of podcasts out there.
There's not.
No.
Not good ones.
No. This is the best.
It's like Joe Rogan, us, Joe Rogan. That's the only three, right?
Yeah.
Here, cheers.
Yeah. Hold up. He's not drinking. No, it's me.
I'm drinking a non-alcoholic Lagunitas.
Yeah, shout out Lagunitas. I tried it. It's good.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't know about good, but it's not bad.
I mean, like, it is what it is.
You know.
And I feel like the asshole drinking booze ahead of in front of him, which he did offer. Shout out Chris.
Hey, let me shout out Chris.
No.
Hey, Chris, I'm sober. But hey, I appreciate you so much, dude. Our buddy Chris, he makes beautiful, beautiful fucking all kinds of things, but specifically these cutting boards. And he gave me one for free, and he also gave me a bottle of his fucking Hard Truth Sweet Mash Rye. Shout out Hard Truth. Shout out Chris. It's uncut, it's unfiltered, and it's the new sponsor of Head First Lifestyle Podcast. Was that good? Was that good, dude? I'm getting good at this, dude. Wow, after 4 years, I'm getting good at this.
I'm speechless.
Wow.
There was no stutter. There was no,
I'm sober. I swear to God. I swear. Like, my brain is fucking firing on different cylinders. This is day 15 of 6 months.
And you're already reaping the benefits.
Reaping.
No, you look great.
You look great.
No, you look great.
Let's do this for 20 minutes. You look so goddamn sexy.
You look fucking incredible.
Oh my God, dude.
I'm not sober. I mean, I'm sober right now.
You raw dog life every day. Yeah. Like, you don't drink every day.
So because my mom will never listen to this, so I get to, like, kind of talk shit about her. I love my mom to death, don't get me wrong. But this is, okay, so my mom and myself, like, the reason that I have such a very, I would say, unique relationship with alcohol derives from her. That's basically all you need to know. The people that know. The people that don't, let's get to know each other. But I was telling Mom about the conversation you and I had on the phone.
When I was crying?
Yeah. I wasn't going to mention it, but yes. And it was more of, I wanted my mom to know also that, like, to the point where long story short, she and I have had that relationship before when it comes to negative impact of alcohol and how it affects other people. And I was telling her because I was hoping that she would lay some inspiration that I could then relay to you. Mm-hmm. And saying, and so I would go in the backstory, of like, I've never had that issue of substance abuse in the sense of what I feel like Brandon's going through.
I abuse it.
And Mom, because of you, that's why. And she was just like, yeah, like, I figured that, like, I wasn't comfortable drinking until I was 25, 26. Like, I'd never bartended before, and I'm a bartender now, It's weird how that lines up. I mean, I remember getting in. Basically, I was straight edge, right? I didn't do anything.
Yeah, the triple X's on.
Yeah, I didn't do anything, and I was just raw dogging. And this was like, I probably was still suffering depression. I just didn't know what it was at the time.
Good thing you weren't drinking at Bloomington and shit like that.
Oh, dude, or doing something worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford anything. But anyway, so this is what my mom said. That, like, she basically worded it in the way that that she understands of using a vice or using a substance to get through life.
Yes.
Because she's like, I've been there. And then she's like, and Peyton, the same with you with, like, you're taking your antidepressant. It's the same thing. And I was just like,
it's not, Mom.
I was like, wait, what? And she's like, it's like you rely on this chemical to help you through the day. And I was just like, that's not where I expected this to go.
Get out of my room, Mom.
But yeah. And I was like, well, sure, I guess. in that way. I mean,
I guess you could find a parallel.
Yeah, but
not really.
And I was waiting for her to like I said, drop some wisdom and be like, "This is what you need to tell Brandon." Like, you know, I feel like stuff that I already told you. Like, take a day at a time or a moment at a time. Like, have a good support structure. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah. I told him, I was like, if you wanted to just like come over and hang out, like it'd be fine. And she's like, yeah, that's great and all. But like, it made it seem like I felt like she was thinking that I was holier than thou when it comes to like my own sobriety of like not needing, because she knows I don't smoke. She knows I don't like drink in abundance. Yeah. And she's like, well, you take Lexapro. And I'm just like, what the fuck? It's like, okay.
You know, you abuse antidepressants, Peyton.
You take that 20 milligram a day.
I'm never telling you anything again, Mom.
Mm-hmm. Get out of my room.
So she didn't have anything for me?
No. Best of luck. Mostly like, hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's not even
like that.
Well, it's not even that I like depend on alcohol. It was always I just depended on
something. Then that's what I said. It was like, it wasn't like the actual substance that he felt like he was craving. It was more the escapism to not. And that's what I was like. That's what I said. I was like, he's feeling things sober for the first time in a long time, maybe. And I get it because
I would always feel those things. Those things weren't like new to me. It was just easy to go like
easy to bypass.
Yeah, I could just go get a bottle of wine or smoke a blunt.
Sounds boring.
Yeah. I love it.
I'm a great friend.
Cheers again.
Yeah, cheers, man.
But it was just always easy to go grab something, and then like once I could, kind of like push that thing. It's just funny at that point. Like the things that were torturing me would just be funny because I'd be high or I'd be fucking drunk, and
it's easier to digest how shitty the world is, or how shitty you're feeling, or how hard life is.
Making progress though, dude. That bike ride,
dude. Let's talk about that.
I learned a whole shit ton, a lot about myself. Did I say that right?
Yeah, shit. You did. No, you did.
Shit all over. Yep, it was great.
Yeah. If you didn't know,
you better know. But if you don't,
he biked from Marion to Toledo, Ohio. Dayton's even further.
Yeah.
Down. My fault. My fault.
That's when it was farther.
Yeah. Dayton. I'm sorry. Yeah. Holy shit.
And
then biked back.
Yeah, that was the wildest part.
Not only did he go there, but no, on a fixed gear bike, you came back. Dude. And so, how difficult was it to? I mean, we can get into like the actual like physical difficulties of it, but how difficult was it to get like logistically, like to get like, how did you get there?
So luckily,
like, is there an app or is there like a website that you can take to be like, all right, I'm biking here. I'm not taking any, like, I don't want major roads or...
Yeah. So just Google Maps, or...
Shout out Google.
Or Apple Maps, whatever's
Shout out Apple.
Whatever's on my phone. And, you just type in your destination. I had already booked a hotel. So I just, GPS to the hotel, and then you got, like, your options at the bottom. Clicked on bike, and then it's also, like, you can go even further in depth and be like, okay, no busy roads. So the first 65 miles was the Greenway straight, and then after that it's just zigzagging country roads. I mean, I didn't see cars rarely.
Yeah,
like every once in a while a car would pass me, but I mean I was out. It would maybe be a house every.
You're out in the sticks, man. You were out in the sticks.
And here's the fucked part, dude. I didn't check the weather. So right when I got off the Greenway, I'm like, maybe 70 miles in. I still have 40 miles to go. And
chump change, dude.
Starts fucking sprinkling at first.
Okay.
And then
you're like, refreshing.
Yeah, this is refreshing. I'm hot. This is great.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't last long. And then the wind on a single speed bike is not easy if you didn't know. And also all the hills in Ohio. And then it started downpouring. My phone got wet. GPS fucked up. Didn't know where I was. Didn't know where I was going. I was out in fucking, dude, I saw more horse and buggies than I saw cars at one point. And just fucking mounds
fucking
of
out here in Amish, dude.
I'm sitting there fucking
swerving moon pies?
Moon pies, dude. Yeah, swerving.
Did Amish stop and talk?
No.
They should have. They should have been like, brother.
They waved.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that's great. They did wave. I didn't know they wave.
They know that?
I didn't know they knew that. It's like,
that's a pretty Western civilization custom, waving.
Like, wow.
There's no waving anywhere else in the world except here.
I was like, wow, they're really evolving. They're on the King's Island. They're fucking waving. It's great, dude.
They're fucking riding the fucking beast.
Dude, yeah, I know.
Only wooden coasters, though. They don't do metal. Only wooden coasters.
Stick to your morals. Like, either fucking... They got flashers on the back of their boat.
Dude, they're...
Come on. So, the ride there, I was feeling real determined, feeling really good. Even during the rain, I was like, this is the challenge I wanted, dude. This is fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
You're feeling it. Yeah.
Feeling it. And then I get there. I hop in the shower, dude.
Best shower of your life.
Best shower. I'm beat up. My hands are prunes.
Yeah.
My feet are prunes. Like, my right knee started. That's when, like, the first of my right knee pain started. Which this is the one that I fucked up the last in college when I was playing football.
College football, everybody.
Yeah, shout out college football. And then I walked over to good old Waffle House. Had a fucking... what was it, the All-Star skillet?
Fuck yeah, dude. Were you just smash? Did you smash it?
Yeah. I was the only one in there, and they were mad I came in. But
I'm like, it's not like they're closing. They're open 24 hours.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
I tipped her fucking $8 on a $12 bill. I was like, you're being mean to me, but here, I hope you feel bad about this. She looked at it and just put it in her pocket and just went and ate her own fucking skillet. It's fine. I don't care. Shout out fucking Becky or wherever the fuck.
Yeah, dude. Like, I don't give a shit, honestly.
So then I laid down. It's probably like only like 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. And it's that Saturday.
It's that Saturday. Yeah. So
the day before Labor Day.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, 2 days before. Well,
yeah, Labor Day is Monday. But the weekend of. People are out drinking, having a good time.
They are. They were. Too.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I had just started my sobriety.
Yeah, because we podcasted the week before.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And was I sober then? Okay.
It was the first day. The last podcast was the first day.
I called you that night.
That you called me that night after. Yeah. Because we were like, all right, well, I'm taking off. And you're like, yeah, I'm good. And I was like, all right, man, I'll text you when I get home. And
30
then
minutes later.
and you're on a walk, just like, fucking, fuck.
Oh, no, I'm with my own thoughts.
Because you're FaceTiming me, and I'm just like, I got to answer this. And I was like, hey, buddy. And you're like, not doing too good. And I was like, yeah, dude, I know. Like, it's hard. Yeah. It's hard.
It was, and then it was hard. So
anyway,
I watched the Notre Dame Ohio State game, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna fall right asleep, and I just couldn't fucking sleep because I always smoke weed right before I go to sleep. Mm-hmm. I just couldn't sleep, and then finally I did get to sleep. And anyway, I was getting very anxious laying there, so I was like, I had, a lot of people offer like, hey man, if you can't do it, I'll come get you. And I'm like, all right, I appreciate it, but you're basically the same.
Like you're saying, you're setting a precedent of saying like you're not going to do this.
Yes, exactly.
You're not going to do this. Maybe some of them were like actual.
No, I'm riding my bike 215 miles. They don't think I can do it, which I understand. I didn't know if I could do it. It was a kind gesture, but it's still lingering behind. I know what you're...
It's like a veiled, like, hey, just let you know.
When you can't do it, call me. That's what it
when you can't do it, call me.
And, which, I'm not taking anything away from the gesture of it. It's very kind.
Sure.
But my dad, the worst of it all, is just like 50 times, hey man, I'll come get you. Like, seriously, over and over again. I'm like, Dad, I appreciate it, but I'm going to fucking do it. Anyway... Thoughts get started. I'm laying there in my shitty hotel room, and I'm just like, I don't know, dude. Like, my knee hurts. Like, it's supposed to rain. Like, I already know it's supposed to rain the entire day. And I was like, fuck, dude. So I'm starting to have a panic attack. And eventually I go to sleep, and I wake up, and I'm not nearly as sore as I thought I'd be. I stretched a lot that night. I stretched in the morning. I was just like, all right, man. And I looked at the radar, and I was like, I got 4 hours before the rain comes. I gotta get at least to the Greenway, because if my phone gets wet again, like, I don't want to deal with that. That was horrible. Like I was literally.
So how did your phone come? Like
I found a park. Like I kept riding on this road hoping
that you'd find some like shelter of some sort.
I did. I found a town and I found like a little park with a shelter and I sat there for maybe like a half hour and just let my phone dry and I stretched and like I had little snacks that I'd eat.
Gushers.
I wish I was smart.
Sugar.
Yeah.
And then you crash. You're like,
M&Ms.
dude, fuck yeah, the best, the GOAT. Anyone that says any other M&M's better, peanut are the best.
But peanut M&M and then peanut butter.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Maybe just a handful of both. We'll get.
I think you just blew my mind, dude.
I know, dude. So I go to bed, wake up. I get going. I go over. There's a mire across.
So was there like that moment like where you like get on your bike and you're like, here we go,
yeah,
like
exactly.
like all right,
yeah. And I did most of it with no music, nothing, which was even worse.
Yeah. Did you have like a battery that you brought, like a
portable boy.
Okay,
yeah, because it kept. I mean, my phone.
Yeah.
Was getting drained with the GPS on. It was just draining fast. So I went over to Meyer, got me a coffee, and like a Lunchable.
Did you?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah,
like,
dude.
Like the fancy Lunchables with like the hard salami.
Oh, okay. Not the
$4 Lunchables
instead of like the $2.99.
Yeah.
I gotcha. With like the nuts in them and stuff. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude. And then I hit the road, and what sucked was now I'm going all the hills at the beginning of it, which was actually probably for the best. I would not have wanted to hit that later on in Indiana, but so I got through that, and then no rain the entire time. But I got to a point where I was 50 miles from home, and dude, my right knee. I was pedaling with my left leg only. Like I was keeping my right leg on it, and I was just
and you were just pushing extra with your left.
Because my right knee just kept seizing up, and that I did stop and stretch. And I made a video. That's one of the videos I posted on Instagram. I was just like,
I watched it.
Yeah, this fucking sucks.
Yeah,
and honestly, like I had a lot of people I don't even really talk to. Actually, mostly people I don't even talk to, like responding, like, "Hey, man, just you got this, keep going and shit." And like that shit really does help a lot. Especially when you're doing it for nothing.
Yeah, there's no gain.
Yeah.
I mean, like it is for something.
Yeah,
like it's for you.
But there's
but yeah, I know what you mean.
And I knew there was no shame in just calling somebody, and I didn't. And yeah, dude, I just fucking limped my way home. I got home.
But when I looked at because you posted your what's the app called? Strava. Yeah. The time differentials were both even. Like
I kept the same pace.
Yeah, your pace was like there wasn't like it wasn't an increase because knowing you're going home, it's different than going there because you're like, okay, you made your goal, but now you got to come back.
Yes,
and so it's different. It's a different vibe. It's a different vibe.
I'm already beat to shit.
Yeah, and you're like, fuck, I have to do this all the way back, and I'm just going back home. Like there's a necessity of getting back because that's part of it, but it's like. Your adrenaline or whatever is different going to your destination.
You're all pumped up,
you're like, I'm doing this.
I'm gonna get it,
and it's almost like a high that you come down from when you get there.
110%.
And then you're like, fuck. Now it's like the realization of like I have to go back now. It's completely.
That's
different.
why I started having like anxiety.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, oh no,
for
dude,
sure.
Like I'm here alone.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! But the way back. Well, there and back, but on the way back, there was this road that I was on for a while. It's called Euphemia Castine Road, and I'll never fucking forget it. I remember I don't know. I don't remember what mile I was at. It was enough to where I was fucking exhausted, and I just kept screaming at the top of my lungs, Euphemia Castine Road, just chanting it over. I was losing my goddamn mind, dude.
Sure.
And then I don't know. I probably got like 40 miles to go. And I just started fucking, because I'm in my thoughts the entire time. So I'm like breaking things down. Like the whole time, I was just breaking myself down to myself, and like the people in my life, and why I do things I do, and just everything. Really fucking diving deep, therapy session style into myself. And then I just started like crying, and I started crying hard. And then I was crying so hard that the sounds were funny to me. So then I'm like crying and laughing hysterically. And I don't know. I just felt like right then I just like hit this breakthrough. Like, dude.
Yeah, something happened. Man. Something happened. Yeah, for sure.
It was great. It was one of the best experiences in my life for myself. Because like, it'd been easier if I had somebody there with me. Like, hey man, come on, let's keep going. Like, let's pick it up. You know.
But no, you were just doing it. You were doing it. Yeah.
Just doing it. And I did it.
And I think that's a good. It's like a litmus test of like, especially like you and I've already like told you that like I've always thought with whatever you set your mind to, you just do it because that's out of like all of my close friends. Like Chris does it too, but I mean like you just do it, right? And so when there's nobody pushing you, there's nobody doing it, and it's like your own self-will putting yourself through the agony of being, you know, drenched in rain and the wind pouring, you know, it's and you're like, I can only rely on myself. But really what I think it should, if you didn't notice this about yourself, it's just like it should solidify more that like you have what it takes to do it.
Yeah.
With whatever you do. I mean, last time we podcasted, you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do stand up again, and you did. And I mean, just like something like that. Like it doesn't have to be you're biking to Dayton. It's just be like, this is what I'm gonna do, and then do it. And that was the big talking point that we had last time. Is just like, do it. Like, who cares? Just do it. And I feel like that you're still sticking true to it. And I mean, I am too. I'm just doing it. Like, I'm just doing it, and it feels good to just. Like, not worry about what other people are saying or thinking, and just like, what do I want?
Exactly.
What do I want?
That's the whole fucking point.
Like, you're allowed to be selfish.
You have to be selfish.
You're allowed to be.
You have to be, like, what I'm learning so much, you have to be selfish to be able to be there for people. And that might sound contradictory, but that's it, right?
Yeah, you did. I'm not telling you did. You fucking did, bud.
But, like, you have to be 100% there for yourself before you can be there for anybody else. You can't, there's no other way around it. Like, you have to take care of yourself first before you can take care of somebody else. Because if you're not, then you're just lying to yourself. You're just constantly relying on somebody else. And like, I spent my entire life being a liar, being somebody that would, you know, say I'm going to do something and then maybe half-ass do it and then just, you know, lie about the rest of it. And dude, there's so much shame in that. There's so much, you know, then you start to hate yourself, and then you're taking it out on other people, your girlfriend, your friends, your family, and it just builds up. And then it's constant anxiety, it's constant depression. And if I'm going to be anything in this world, I'm going to be a fucking person that does what he says he's going to do. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And that's it. That's my life. And that's why I'm such an extremist, is because I spent so much of my life being, in my own eyes, a piece of shit. You know, a liar, a manipulator, whatever the case may be. And no, dude, I ain't doing that anymore. And I think it probably all started with, you know, with you here and the carnivore diet. And I think that's really what started, you know, that was like my first transition into doing something abnormal. Like, oh, you're a vegetarian for 5 years and you're just going to do 30 days carnivore. And it just kind of just started building from there. Little fast, little blah, 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 but still not being true to myself during those years. And I'm just now really starting to figure out, like, you know.
Yeah, I think what you've gone through has been I mean, as cliche as, like, I mean, it's a breakthrough.
Yeah.
Of, like, your own ability to I mean, like, because, like, what you're saying right now is just, like, so extremely profound that without knowing you as a person, like, I know what you're saying. Like, anybody else would be like, okay, great. But, like, me knowing you and, like, being, like, extremely close to you.
You've seen it all.
I've seen it all. And, like, but, like, your ability to think and reason why those things are happening. Yes. And, like, I mean, that's huge. I mean, that's fucking crazy.
Thank you. And then that's why sobriety was next. Because I was still hiding, you know, I was getting, I knew I was getting progress, but it's like, dude, you're still holding yourself back. You know, and I'm going to drink again. I'm going to smoke again. And it's like, it's not forever, but it's just another challenge, another part of it. But what about you, dude? How are you?
I think what you were saying about one of my biggest things that I gravitate towards other people, because I do try to hold myself accountable with what I say, and then the actions that follow. Yeah. I do. That's really hard to do, and it's easy to say one thing and do something differently. And I'm very guilty of that as well. I can say one thing, but what I really gravitate towards in people, and I think maybe why I gravitate towards you, is that saying something and doing it without doing it, the words are fucking nothing.
That's all I ever used to be.
And I do that. And like when you were asking me like how far I did today, it was like 4 miles. Like, I could say 5.
Yeah.
Or like, just like little things like that. But like, no joke, I did 4 miles, but I did more because my thing didn't kick on until later.
Yeah.
And so, but I'm like, listen, I'm going to do 4, then I know I'm doing more. So I'm just going to say 4. Exactly. But I did more, you know, it's like something like that. It's like,
you know what I tell myself every morning, ever since the last 15 mornings since I started sobriety? I wake up and I say, I'm not going to lie today. I'm not going to lie today. I'm not going to say 5 when it was fucking 4. You know, like little things,
because all that shit adds up.
It adds up,
and it makes your ability to continue the facade, the lie. It makes it easier for the next thing, which might be more potentially harmful for someone or something or you. You know, it's like when that's like I said, that's like my number one attraction in people, to people, is you follow through with what you say, because like, I want to believe you. I do. Like, I want that. It's easy for me to believe you.
Yep.
But if you don't follow through, and I want that so much, because like, I realize that for myself, that I will shortcut if I can.
Yes.
And I'm trying really hard not to. And I'm not saying I'm perfect in a lot of things. Like, I'll still, I'll still be like, okay, I did so good. I can allow myself to do this and maybe not push myself as hard.
Right.
You know, like,
we all have that voice, that little fucking bitch ass voice in our head that's like,
and it's like, yeah, and it's no, for real.
Yeah.
For real. Be like, okay, well, you
did good today, kid.
You did good. You know, like, just kind of chill. And I'm like, why? Why am I telling myself to relax when there's other stuff that I can do? It might not be like working out, sure, but it could be like, I don't know, cleaning, or it could be reaching out to somebody, or like, one of my favorite things to do that I know for me, like, and I've done it before, and I could just sit there and like watch YouTube.
Yep.
And then you're like 4 hours later, I'm still sitting there.
And there's like an anxiety that builds up with that.
Yeah, because they're for sure. And so there's been so many times that I have to like be like, get up, just get up, like go do anything.
Go for a walk.
Yeah. And that's honestly when I first started exercising, that's what was the catalyst. Be like, why am I wasting my time on my days off where I could be doing something? And my initial jump to trying to be healthier was that. Be like, I'm fucking sitting here. And honestly, another thing, as weird as it is getting this watch and being like, looking at like how much idle time I have.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't stand up for 3 fucking hours. What the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, Jesus Christ. And I feel like I was doing a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh God. There was a span. There's a lot of things that I can blame it on. I can blame on outside factors of like, oh, my depression was unchecked, or I wasn't happy, and it was cold out and stuff like that. And I will already admit that like I'm not looking forward to the weather change because like yesterday I when I was out exercising, I was like, fuck, it's cold. It's like you can always tell like when I'm cold when my birthmarks on my hand, they turn purple.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, well, yeah, basically on that part. And I was like, well, time to warm myself up. So I just start like running and
fuck yeah.
And so there's I still feel like I can do more, and that's the thing. It's like the like there's on the Apple Watch there are milestones that you hit, and like for example, I will show you. I'll show you one that I just got. So like there's monthly things, and like as cheesy as like having an Apple Watch helps you, but if that works, then go for it.
Anything
and I feel like it's helping. So there's like you get awards and stuff, right? So whoops, I didn't mean to fucking screenshot that. Yeah, basically they're gym badges. They're like fucking Pokemon. And so like you have like monthly challenges, right? So each month there's a challenge that you get. And so for this month, it's like for last month you burned 41,035 calories last month. Yeah. And it's like this month burn 43,000 and make it more, and you get this. And like the August challenge for me was get your exercise goal 19 days out of the month. And that was fine. And then like July was get your total move goal, which is like what your full move goal for 21 days. And I did that. And so, but like the big one was I like just hit 100 move goals, like 100 days. Oh shit. So, and like I look back and I'm like, man, and you can see like they do trends of like your health and stuff. And one of the things like I'm realizing more now is that like I used to want to nap every day. Mm-hmm. I don't want that anymore. No. Like I don't want to just like sit around, and as cliche as that sounds,
power and fucking exercise
and movement and like how I feel. So like I was just like raw dogging my feelings until I started taking Lexapro. And then I wasn't doing anything else. I was just expecting that to be my cure-all. Yep. And I still felt it. Like I still was like, man, I'm not as happy as I used to be. But like today, now I feel better than I have because I'm all for people taking SSRIs, or I'm all for people doing something to like make them feel better. But it's like that's not the only thing that you can do. Yeah. I feel like SSRIs are meant there to help you then continue and then add to it to make it better.
It's not the complete package. It's not at all.
And so yeah, like I don't feel stagnant right now. I feel like I'm the ability to continue physically. Like I set goals for myself. Like I want to continue. I want to be able to get 2 miles under. Right now, my goal is to do 2 miles, 20 minutes. So 10 minutes a mile. And I'm really close. Yeah. I'm like super close. And I'm almost there. And to the fact that like I could at one point when I was first starting this, like I could barely run 2 blocks without being so fucking gassed and so winded and being like so, just like that feeling. And I'm like, man, 2 blocks is really like 2 blocks, and then building to be like, I can run almost a full mile now without stopping.
Yes. Fuck yeah, dude.
A full mile. And I don't think in my entire life, even when I was like into sports, like heavy, I don't think I could run a full mile. And that's my next big one. It's like, I just want to be able to run a full mile. Yeah, I might be gassed at the end of it.
But you did it.
But I did it.
It can get very discouraging because like I think a lot of we grew up in a time where here's the 5 easy steps to 6-pack abs, or
dude, it was like it was men's health like vibes just thrown at you.
And when somebody tells you, okay, go out and run 3 blocks. And then you run and you're like, oh my God, oh fuck, dude, this is horrible. And then it's like, okay, well, you're going to have to do this for 6 months before like, and then people are like, 6 months? Fuck that.
100%. That's been like another thing. Cause like gaining weight, that's not an overnight thing. That is a repetitious thing that you are doing every day. Yep. And I don't care about like the woke weight movement. That's fine. Like if you're happy with who you are, it's not even a thing. It's
like
you're
not healthy. So
there you go. Fuck juxtaposition of two best friends. It is more of, you didn't gain all the weight overnight, so why do you expect to lose it that quickly?
Exactly.
You know, it's like, that's another thing that's helped me. It's like, okay, I want to get down to 300. That's a lot. And then I want to eventually get to 250. That's even more. I didn't get there though. It took years to get to where I am now. So why would I think that like 6 months of...
It's going to be where you want to be.
Yeah, it's not. And like, sure, you could feel that setback. You get on the scale, you feel like you had a great week, and you want to like see maybe a few pounds lighter, and you don't. That doesn't mean it's not.
But that's where people get very discouraged.
Yeah,
that's where it's like, oh well, fuck this, and that's a very good point. Because again, to make that,
because I think like the discouragement is a reason why people go back to their habits. Because then like, what has made me feel better? That's something that I can control. Be like, oh, getting fucking Pizza King, or you know what I mean? Like just like something like that.
My mouth is fucking
and it's like, oh, then eat the whole pizza, and then you feel worse than you did, but in that moment you're feeling great
because everybody's obsessed with instant gratification.
Oh my God, dude, yes,
like this right here. You guys can't see it, but it's a strawberry cream breeze. I'm 30 years old smoking strawberry cream. But
no, it is instant gratification. But I think that there's like other things that weight loss and like health or mental health, figuring out who you are. That's not an instant gratification. That's why people struggle so hard. Because I will say that everything that is piped to you right now, whether that be social media, whether that be through your job, whether you want instant results.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's normal.
But that, I'm not saying that's not like reasonable to feel that way, because of course, like everything is. You see everybody's best foot forward unless you know that person.
Yes.
So you expect that, like, you don't see the fucking hour, you don't see the combined almost 20 hours of biking, or of like one trip.
You might be trying to be silly.
Be like, I'm home. I made it. Hear me at the hotel. Or like something like, you didn't see me do 6 miles, and like it's just like you don't see that shit, and it's fine. I want to say like and I told you, I think on the last podcast that you and I were talking, I would get self-conscious about people looking at me, especially being a small town. Like people just stare. And I would feel like insecure running because I know I'm bigger and like oh, look at this fucking asshole trying to be better.
Yep.
You know, like, oh, he's trying to lose weight, but look how big he is. Look how big he is, but he's still running.
And then you realize those people don't mean anything.
Nothing.
They mean nothing.
And so now I stare back at him, like you just like be like
bark at him.
Yeah. But it's like that. It's like. This is like, and it goes against everything that I love. I love being a negative Nancy. I do. That's like, I think part of being funny and like being a comedian or comic, you're able to be negative, like have that outlook.
And we still can be.
Yeah. Like I'll talk shit about anything. Yeah. I don't care. But when it comes to that, like I think it's more of training my brain to partition. What I really care about are the people that I do care about having my best interest in their heart.
Everything else is just noise.
But it's noise. And it's like, in the grand scheme of things, they're seeing me fucking sweat and breathe hard and like running and trying to run. And like, who the fuck cares? Like, I'm still doing it. Yeah. Like, I'm still fucking doing it.
They're still gonna go back to their life, and you're gonna go back to yours. It doesn't fucking matter. But circling back to what you were talking about, like the thinking of the big picture, like with weight loss or really anything. When you look at the end result, when you look at 250 pounds, when you look at whatever it is, looking at the map, knowing that I got 80 miles to go to get home, you gotta fucking take a magnifying glass to that shit, and you gotta fucking zoom in on it and not worry about anything other than what's inside of that vision. You can't look at 250 pounds. You can't look at Marion, Indiana, and be like, you can't look that far away, because that's when you get discouraged. That's when shit hits the fan. You got to worry about, okay, what's the next 5 pounds?
That's a great point. Yeah. Because, and it's same with your sobriety.
Yeah, I can't think of March.
You're thinking about today.
I got to think about today.
Yeah,
personally.
yeah.
I'm trying to be so present.
And I think people don't want to be present.
No, they want to escape. They want to escape.
And I think that, yeah.
Either you're anxious about the future or you're fucking worried about the past. And you can't do anything about either one. So what the fuck are you torturing yourself for? It doesn't matter. And then if you slip up, say you slip up and you don't go run that day, or you go eat a bunch of bullshit, that's even more discouraging, because then you're just like, oh my God, I just fucked up 3 weeks worth. No, you didn't.
You didn't.
So don't sit there and let that voice in your head make that, because that's when your voice is like, well,
And I think that's like the mental strength. It's like, yes. Okay, like you don't have to be fucking Dwayne The Rock Johnson perfect, and then having your 8,000 calorie cheat meal. Yep. You just like take care of the day. Like take care of today.
If you fuck up tomorrow, then you worry. Then we'll get back on track.
Get back on track. That's it. Yep. So there's really no time frame, right?
No, it's the rest of our lives. It's the rest of our lives. That's the thing. People also don't fucking think about is it's forever. It's forever. It's not. It's the whole picture is when I die. And I gotta fucking focus on today. I gotta focus on tomorrow when it is tomorrow. And it's just gotta carry itself forth like a fucking chain, dude. And it's just gotta get me eventually. I'm not worried about eventually, though. Right now, I'm with you, with this microphone. I got my non-alcoholic beer. You got your bourbon. We got our vapes. That's it. Nothing else matters. I don't care what's going on with my phone. I don't care what's about work. I don't care about the Dolphins, even though shout out Dolphins. They did kick that ass.
Dude, they fucking killed it.
Everything is about right now, always. And that's so hard. I can sit here and say these words and it's, I'm thinking about maybe who messaged me. But it can't, that's why I've also been trying to meditate. Because that's just all teaching you how to stay present in the moment. And basically, the idea of meditating is let those thoughts come in, push them back out. You start to try and focus on your breath. When you lose your breath and you start thinking about all the shit we always think about, say, okay, I accept that, I thought that. Now let me get back to my breath. And it's not easy, and you always fuck up, but it's the idea of that for life. If that makes sense.
It does. I know a lot about it. So, funny story. Esther's dad, George, is basically what you would consider a yogi.
I could have guessed that.
Sure. And great guy. Very unique, very eccentric, but great guy. And I remember he would portion out times of his day, an hour, maybe 2 hours of meditating where you did not see him. And really? He did that his entire life. He's done that his entire life.
That's pretty dope.
He meditates in the garden that he has. And but coming from a fucking Hartford City kid, where I'm eating fucking zebra cakes and pizza rolls, and this guy's that exists, and
I want to throw rocks at him just for the way
that. But yeah. Imagine being. I mean, he hosted retreats, the whole 9 yards, man. And so I know that existence. And I would always be, because like it's my own my personal nature to, like what I was saying earlier. I'm
still gonna make fun of it.
Make fun of it, but like I admire it.
Yeah,
but like I want to make fun of it and be like, "Fuck you!" Like, what did you do? Get the
fuck up, dude.
And he would just do it, and
and
I'm just like, "Fuck, man!" Like, part of it is like I make fun because I'm insecure about it, and I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." But
bro, go inside and do that shit.
Yeah, don't do like you're sitting around like these lily pads and like your own terrarium and fucking your water, and you're just like blissing out. And you come back a different person, and
like I stretch every morning and I stretch at night before bed, and like that's when I just take 5 minutes, try and focus on just my breath, and try and get those thoughts out of my head. And like it's crazy because you'll get a few seconds, and you're like, "Oh shit, I was there.
Yeah,
I was in some different zone for a second." I can only imagine actually being able to harness that. Still gonna make fun of you, dude.
He does. It's and so it's like it's the same thing. It's like normally I listen to music, or normally that's what I do when I exercise. I listen to music, but there's that moment where I don't, and I'm just like thinking about how I feel. Like my breathing when I'm out.
Yep.
And I listen to music all the time. Like my entire day is full of it. Mm-hmm. Or I have something playing because like escapism is what you were talking about, of like feeling it. It's like consuming media when you're consuming media when you're consuming media. It's like you want to prevent a thought to happen.
Oh, it's what it is.
That's what social media is for me.
Shout out Trailer Park Boys.
Shout out Trailer Park Boys, just playing it. Like I'm not even watching it. I've already seen the episode 800 times. I don't know. I know what's going to happen, but it's in the background. And then I'm like fucking on TikTok or Instagram. It's preventing me to feel what I really am supposed to feel, or thinking about what I really need to think about, and doing it. And I'm just like, it's that separation right there. Like, don't get me wrong. I love listening to music. But I use it as a crutch, and I'm just now saying it, that I use it as a crutch so I don't have to think.
Yeah.
I'm like, my entire way here, listening to music. I'm not thinking about anything, just listening to music.
Well, the songs we listen to, they're saying it for us anyway.
Yeah, that's for sure. That is for fucking sure. Yeah, I haven't listened to Peep in a while. I haven't. And the kitchen will be playing at work. A Peep song will come on. I'm like, fuck. I still love it. I still love it. And I can like hit them with every word that comes out. And they're like, you listen to Lil Peep? And I'm like,
used to. Get it together, boys.
Yeah. Take Lexapro, you fucking loser.
Fucking loser.
It's interesting what we do as people to like, we should be our own comfort zone and our own not worst enemy, but like our own critic.
Wow, look at me, dude.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like we should, like our body knows and like our head knows, like it's so funny. I used to like put things off, like doing things, because like I didn't want to deal with it, and it ended up being like I would take 5 minutes and it'd be done. You know, like, and you're agonizing it for like hours and days.
Oh, wow, like, I got it done. That was easy.
Yeah, like it wasn't as bad as I thought. It's so fucking weird.
It's like, I've been the person who's like, man, it's just like, I'm so fucking sad. I don't feel like doing it. And that, I don't want to say it's not an excuse, because everybody's pain is different, and there's levels to it, and it's all unique in its own. But just fucking get up and do it. Like, as simple as it is to say, just fucking do the thing that you don't want to do.
But that also delves into what you were saying earlier about your words matching your actions. There's a lot of people that, like, I don't deal with anymore because their words never match their actions. So then it almost like is a security blanket. Be like, okay, well then I'm just avoiding it, because I've seen time and time again that A does not ever equal B. Ever. There's that disconnect.
I'm getting there.
And but with you, like I've never thought in my entire existence of knowing you that whatever you said does not happen. And like that's so refreshing. And I think that's why like my core group of friends have always been really good at that.
Yeah.
And
you gotta keep around.
Like I really like admire that about you.
Well, thank you, baby.
I do. I really fucking do. It's incredible. And because like there's never been a time where like where you've said something and I've been like, oh, okay. You know, like never. Like in my entire like and I do that all the time. I do that with me. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. You know, like that's my go-to. And like yeah. And it's like it's admirable because there's things that you do that I want for me. And not even like the idea of fasting or the idea of biking 200 miles. But it's just it's so it's not that, but it's just that mental strength. Like I admire you fucking doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. Admirable as fuck. Do I want to do it? Not really.
Come on down.
But like you just doing it and putting yourself through. I think that's why what I admire the most is like you put yourself through these trials, and you say you're gonna do it and you fucking do it. And as much as I listened to like the last episode, is like it's so easy to just be right here, right now, saying this is what I'm gonna do.
Yes.
And then don't do it.
Yes, it's easy.
It's so fucking easy. I just said it. I'm going to go to Golden Gate Bridge. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not.
But I said
I would like to.
We can go.
Let's go.
Come on.
I want to go.
How we get there? You want to drive?
I'll drive.
Okay. I'll be down.
Will we jump off?
Dude, that's not how I could go.
Dude, so I watched this video and I was going to send it to you, but I didn't.
The guy survived jumping off?
Yes!
Got saved by the seal or the sea lion?
No.
Are we talking San Francisco?
Yeah. Okay. so, like, the percentage of people that jump off the Golden Gate Bridge, 99% die.
Yeah, you get that 1%. It's like, oh, my back!
And so this guy was like, he said that...
the moment he let go, dude.
The moment he was like, no, I fucked up.
Dude, did you?
And then, but he said the only saving grace was so that like, this fucked me up. I'm glad
you brought this up. Yeah.
This fucked me up. I know. Okay, so the guy jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge.
To kill himself.
Not for fun. To kill himself. Immediately, he said when his hands and his feet cleared, that he knew that this was not the right choice.
He made a mistake.
And he's thinking on the entirety of his descent.
It's a far fall.
That like
he was up there for a minute.
That this isn't like, what have I done? What have I done? Like all the problems that I've had are fixable. Like he was able to think clearly in that descent. And so he hits and he breaks 2 vertebrae in his back. And he was like, he said 2 centimeters or 2 millimeters, I forget, from severing his spine, which would render him paralyzed in the water. And so he broke his legs on impact because it's a very high...
It's basically concrete.
Yeah, you're hitting concrete and you're almost at terminal velocity. So, yeah, some things are going to happen. The only reason that he survived was that somebody that saw him jump called one of their friends that was in the Coast Guard. And that person just so happened to be doing a route at that very moment by the Golden Gate Bridge.
Really?
And the person that got the call that was on this boat was right there because he said he fell. When he hit the water, he estimated that he was under the water at 70 feet. Yeah, 70 feet.
Had to have been.
And so when you hit, he said, when you hit that high, you become immediately disoriented because you're hitting a fucking brick wall.
You should have been unconscious, most likely. But yeah.
But he came to. Yeah. So he's like, I'm going to drown. I don't know which way's up, because at that point you don't know what the fuck's going on. And so he said he never lost consciousness, but he finally saw something that he's just like, I'm just going to go to this. And it was the surface. So 70 feet up, finally gets to the surface. And then he said he waited no longer than 2 minutes while just like bobbing, thinking that he was eventually just going to sink and die because he's not feeling his legs.
Yeah.
And this boat comes by that's Coast Guard, because this lady called their friend that said, hey, just to let you know, someone just jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge. And they're right there, picked him up, and he lived.
Did you, I don't know if you watched or read this, but, or however you got your information, but did he talk about his bus ride to the bridge?
Huh.
Is
it the same guy?
It has to be.
Okay.
I would assume so.
Well, I mean, not many people live.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So if it's not the same guy, then this is different.
Like, I didn't save the video. It was like, I saw it and I was just like, because the morbid curiosity of like, when I was like super depressed and thinking about suicide, every day I woke up. When I was in Bloomington, I would think about how much better I would feel not being alive.
Yeah.
And that's,
I mean, not wrong.
Not wrong, but like in that moment when I think clearly now, and how discombobulated I was then, and just like going through so much shit and not having that lifeline, not having that like, I'm not putting it on anybody else, but I also don't think that there's validity in pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. What people think. They're like, oh, you're sad, just get better. Like, that doesn't exist. No. That does not exist. You need a support structure. Yep. You need almost constant care. I'm not saying you need constant care, but you need people.
That mindset.
You need people. Yeah. Oh, you need people checking in on you.
Yep.
And I was surrounded by nobody. And I could have been, but I made myself almost like a recluse. Honestly, I went to school. I quit my job, even though that was my only income. I isolated myself because then I felt like a burden. I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, this is some fucked up shit. I remember thinking to myself, I never really left my room other than to go to the bathroom. That I was just sitting there like playing World of Warcraft, which was my escape.
Saving grace.
Honestly. And I was thinking that this would be the last room that I knew.
Like your day was going to come.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
A really bad day is going to come up.
Yeah, like every day is a really bad day.
But a really bad day.
Yeah, and I mean, I knew that like this would be it. Like I did. I knew at that moment that this would be it. And I'm like, how fucked up this is. It's like I'm sitting in this really small room that isn't the best room of the apartment complex, because that's my roommate he had.
Is that what all the sadness was about?
That not getting the best room, maybe. But like, I'm like, okay, so I'm thinking to myself, like I'm sitting here. I have my air mattress that I popped. So I'm really just sleeping on the floor. And I'm looking out the window. All I see is a carport. And I know that there's people existing outside of here that are much happier and they're like more managed and they're handling their life better. And I'm like, why am I struggling so hard? And I remember like, okay, so I have finals this week, and I have a project due, and I'm paying all this money to go here, and I'm paying money to live here that I don't, and I hate being here. And I'm looking around. There's nothing on the walls. There's literally a desk, a computer, and a bed, and my clothes just strewn around. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this is the last room I'm going to inhabit. And which was kind of funny at the time because I thought, like, how fucking shitty this room was. Yeah, this room sucks. And it probably had a smell. And I remember, like, when my roommate would leave, I would go steal his change. to go, and I've never told anybody this in my entire fucking life. Tell everyone that. I've never told anybody this.
Text him. Like, hey man, I owe you like $6.
I owe more than that. I owe more than that because he had a change jar.
Oh yeah.
But without that change jar, there'd be some nights I wouldn't eat. There'd be some nights that I wouldn't have been able to take the bus to the Kroger to get ramen. Yep. Without that. I would sometimes skip class because I knew that he would be going to work, and I would go in there and take his change and then come back and be like, I could, and then I would take the bus that I would normally take to class and just keep taking it until it got to the Kroger, and then I'd go get food. I hate thieves and I hate stealing, but I did it.
Yeah.
And I did it, and like,
you got your ramen, dude. He'll be all right.
Oh, he's fine. I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm fine.
You're thriving.
I'm fine. Like
the evolution, like you got. I mean, fuck.
If I would have told myself like right now, like then, that I would eventually be where I am, and like financially stable at least, and like mentally stable.
You'd be like, yeah, okay.
I'd be like, no, I'm going to continue playing WoW until I'm going to kill myself. Mm-hmm. Which, diverting back to like what we were talking about, the Golden Gate Bridge, my method was to go into my biology class was in the tallest building on campus. And it was...
mow it down?
It was like... No. My human biology class was in the tallest building on campus. And what I was thinking that like I fucking do my final presentation, right? And I like kill it.
Fantasize this.
I kill it. Oh, every day I thought about it. Then going to the very top, knocking the window out and jumping. That was my way. That's what made me think about, I always have a fascination with people that jump to their death. I know that like we've talked about it, like, oh, that's fucked up. But like my way of doing it was I was going to jump from the building that I held my undergrad in, which was the tallest building. And so I was just going to take the elevator up and just jump. And I never got to the point where I was taking the elevator up. I never got to that point. I got to the point where I knew it, like something happened. I don't even know what happened. Oh, I do know what happened. My parents were like, you need to come home. Like, we know. Like, something's up.
Yeah.
Like, so when the semester ended, I just came home. And I was still paying. Like, I remember coming home and living with my dad. And it being like, I'm still paying rent on my apartment down in Bloomington, which was like, my portion was like $800 a month, which at the time was super expensive, especially like me not living there. And I was like, okay, well, I'm home. Immediately feel better because I'm surrounded by people that give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, at least about me, right?
Alone.
And I don't feel isolated and completely alone. And I feel immediately better. And then the next week, I find this job in Fairmount.
That's crazy that's the timeline.
That's the timeline. And that's why I give a shit about my job. Because it provided me something that I didn't have, financial stability. And because, dude, there was two options, right? I was like, I know I need a job. I had an interview with Walmart Distribution. And I had this interview in Fairmount. And I was like, okay, the first one was Fairmount. So I go there. I get lost in Fairmount because I never go to Fairmount. And I finally find it. And I bullshit my way into a job saying... Because I just needed any sort of income. I needed anything. And they're like, well, we need a bar manager. What I tell people is like... What I tell people when I say that I had no experience bartending or managing or doing anything. That's very valid. I didn't. But from what I was coming from, which would be suicidal Peyton... I'm going to fucking figure this shit out. And we discussed and it happened. And here I am, like almost 8 years later, like the money that I made from that job saved me. As much as I don't want to give a shit about money, but like that's the God honest truth.
Yeah.
Coming from something that like I would
dead up to your ears.
Yeah, and that I was able to pay the rest of my Bloomington,
car.
Yeah, pay off the car, pay extra payments on my house, have dogs, take care of them, and like to see where I am now than I was 8 years ago. That should be not even 8 years ago. Like I'm not hitting my stride now. Like it was almost immediate that the difference of just being able to like afford living. And then the things that I experience, the people I experience, meeting people. Like, if I didn't work there, like, do you think I ever met you?
It's crazy how...
Like, just like things happen. And I think that there's like the divine intervention of things happening. Like, the fact that I took this job over some factory distribution job was maybe one of the better decisions I've ever made without knowing it. And the fact that I've been able to like create something and be somebody in an environment that I'm not familiar with, which being like Grant County and like the surrounding areas, like people know me, which is great, but like unnecessary. Because I'm still just trying to think about me in that moment. Like now I'm still able to
Your Grant County's best, baby.
Dude, I'm going for year 2. I'm going to back to back.
You're going to go back to back, baby.
I better.
And you know, life is so fucking weird, dude. And I don't know if there is a hand played in it or not, but if Joni wouldn't have came and had dinner at Applebee's that night, and if Danielle would not have waited on Joni, and if Joni wouldn't have been like, wow, you're a great server, you should come work for this restaurant I just opened a few months ago, or a year ago, whatever it was at the time, you know, and then she's like, oh, well, I have a boyfriend that works here too. Oh, well, bring him. All right, so then we go.
And then I wait on you, and then I give you the worst service of all time.
You just hated me. And then Bart, Bart has us fill out applications, and he's like, actually, fuck that, you guys are hired. And that's how we're here right now. Otherwise, I probably would have went to Grains and Grill one time for dinner.
Never go back.
I mean, not very much. I wouldn't be able to afford to. But, I mean, I probably would have never talked to you. Other than maybe like...
Yeah, because there's no reason, like, in any way, shape, or form that you and I would have crossed paths.
You'd have been too busy.
Well, no. Like, not even that.
Oh,
but outside of that, they're like... I don't, like, know the people that you hung out with.
I don't go to World of Warcraft conventions.
I'm a troll mage, baby.
No, it wouldn't have. There would have been no way that those stars align, and that's like.
And so you think about that, and you're just like, fuck.
Life is literally in moments, dude. Like moments make the bigger picture. You have to. That's why you never take anything for granted, man. Anything, any moment, any fucking opportunity, you got to weigh your options. You got to. That's what like.
And that's dude. And that's what I was doing there. I was just like, okay. I could tell Joni that I have no experience being a bartender.
That's not going to get me the job.
But like what I was originally, like I was just looking for anything. I was like...
Busboy, dishboy.
I need money.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, well, we need a bar manager. You have restaurant experience. Can you do that? Have you done that? Yeah, I have. Yep. That fucking night, I went home, YouTubed the like 25 most popular drinks. I bought pour spouts. I bought bottles to fill with water, and I never poured a beer from a tap. Like, how fucking crazy! And then to be like voted the best bartender.
Oh yeah, dude, that's
fucking wild.
Yeah,
that's wild. And I'm like, and I know that I'm good at it. I know that I'm good at it.
I know you're good, and as you should.
And like, I make great cocktails, and I make. It's not so much just like you should make great cocktails. That should be it. But like not only that, but like the people that I've met and that I've become super close with.
They come to see you.
They come only to see me.
Yes.
And that's fucking wild to me.
It is.
Like without them, like without the Averys, without the Dickies, without Sonia and Didi, and like it's just like thinking about them. Like they're in a special place for me because they pulled me without them knowing. They pulled me from like a spot that I don't ever in my entire life want to be in again. Nope. And that's why I work hard, and that's why I do the things that I do, and that's why I manage financially so well. I like spending money like everybody else, but like I will never be in that position again. No. Ever. I will force myself. Going back. I'm not ever.
Once you get out, and we've always talked about this, like especially when we hit good spots, we're like, man, that's so scary thinking that like we're gonna slip back in. Mm-hmm. But I feel like
there's moments, like relationships fizzle out and like fucking destroy you.
But the point is, it's not that I'm worried about it anymore because I refuse. I absolutely refuse.
Yeah, I will not.
Dragging me back
you're not doing this again. We're not doing this
Talking
again.
to myself too.
Yeah,
you're not bringing me back.
You're not. Yeah. No, me too. Because there's comfort in sadness.
Oh yeah, there is. And we always talk about
that's like one of that's why the podcast exists.
Yeah.
There's comfort in that that life is hard.
Yeah.
And it is hard. Like we're not disputing that. Life is hard. And it's harder for other people that we have no idea how hard it is. And we are the antithesis of being a white straight male from East Central Indiana. And we're coming with a podcast that says life's hard. It is. But when you think about it, the bigger idea, the only thing that you can control about is your life. That there's other people that if you have the opportunity to like be a part of their life and it being good in a positive situation, that is what it's about.
That's what it's about.
That is it. Like, I hope to bring to you what you bring to me. 100%. That's it.
Goal.
That's
the goal of the whole picture.
And then life isn't so hard.
No.
That's it. Life isn't so hard when
you don't do it alone and you have somebody there
that is actually going back to like what my mom was talking about when I told her that you had called me. That's what she said. She said, do something for somebody else. That is what she said. I'm just remembering now.
That is actually great advice.
She's like, okay, if you don't want to be in your head so much, do something for somebody else without expecting anything in return. Yep. And I feel like that is like the best answer you could give, and I totally forgot it, and I feel like an asshole now. I feel like an asshole now. I feel like an asshole now, but yeah, you have the ability to do something.
And speaking of, this really ties back into the Golden Gate Bridge because when he was taking the bus to the Golden Gate Bridge, he left his house. He knew he was going there to kill himself, and he said he was sitting on the bus, bawling his eyes out. Just crying. And he said it would just take, like, he just wanted one person
to be like, are you okay?
Are you okay? And everybody just, heads forward, maybe glanced at him. He's just like, if somebody would just say something to me like that, like, I won't do it. And he's like, he even said, he's like, while he was sitting there crying, he's like, if somebody says something to me, I won't do it.
You know what that is too? The Forgive Me book.
Forgive Me, Larry Peacock.
Which was fucking incredible, by the way.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
He said, if somebody just wished me a happy birthday, none of this would
yeah, dude. And, like, really,
like, that's it. It's like you want to be seen.
You want to be seen. You want to be seen, dude.
You want to be seen. You do. And, like, know that, like, what you're going through, or not even that. Like, you don't even have to go to, like, that far, but just, like, being, like, you want to be seen. And
hey, you all right, man? I know you're sitting over crying. Like, you got anything on your mind? It's
like that alone. I mean, like, I think that's just like the humility of people that we alienate. And so, like, when I was talking about, like, it's okay to be selfish about your own things, but, like, I remember going out to Philly and, like, seeing, and it's like culture shock, right? You see people laying on, like, heated grates.
Yeah.
And, like, I want to be like, are you...
Can't.
And you can't. You can't, but you should. Like, what? Like, and I remember Amanda telling me, like, no, like, leave them alone. Because that's what, she's from Philly. That's what she's used to. Mm-hmm. And me being like, this is a person. Yep. This is a fucking person laying on a grate. And I want to be like, are you okay? Like, what can I do? Because I think you want to be like, what can you do?
There really I think situations where
you can't. You can't. And that's what I struggle with. Like, what you can and can't do. And you can handle what you can do. Yep. But, like, fuck, man. It gets to a point where it's like, why? I don't know. This is just, like, going deeper than what I anticipated this podcast to be. Because, like, fuck. Like, I remember thinking to myself, it would be the same thing. It's like that guy that was going to the Golden Gate Bridge. And someone just being like, are you okay? And fuck, like, I know my roommate knew I was miserable, but, like, fuck, I was stealing change from him. like I wasn't expecting him to be like, hey, are you okay? Like, in his mind, he probably thought I was just like, he hasn't left his room.
He probably just wanted me to talk to him.
Yeah. Like, that's not his fault. No. That's not his fault. Like, I don't blame him for anything, but, like, also, if I were in the opposite, I would like to think that if I were in the opposite spectrum of, like, he has a job with IU. Like, he's not going to school. He has a job with IU. He's like,
hey, man, you want to go grab some lunch?
Nothing. Fucking nothing. I was just paying rent. Living in his space. It's fucking crazy, man.
Just robbing.
I think that's what you think about. You don't realize the impact that you have on people until it's like a moment that it might be too late. And I think when the too late happens is like things like when my friend KP killed himself. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll like get nostalgic and I'll go through Instagram photos that I posted and he's like commented on everything or liked it. And I'm just like, knowing that he's not here now, like, what would it have taken for him to not do that? Yeah. Like, what could I have done? And I think that's fair if, like, anybody that you know personally is, like, committed suicide. Yeah. And thinking that, like, I'm coming from a position where I've known what that feels like of wanting to be not here. You know, like, we joke about, like, just sitting in your car and, like, turning it on. That was, like, our best running joke for so long. But, like, in theory, like, I wouldn't have been opposed to it. No. Which is fucked. Like, to not be here. And it's not even not being here is, like, the selfish part. It's, like, I couldn't imagine my mom dealing with it. I couldn't imagine my dad dealing with it. Or my sister, who's not even in the States, hearing about it. And it's, like, I think it gets to a point where, especially when I was in Bloomington, that as guilty as I would have felt for them, that it didn't matter. It didn't matter.
What's pulled me out and what, actually, my dad listens to this, whatever, but what saved my life was, I'm not going to go into detail because it's not really to go into detail, but what saved me was like, no, my dad's going to find me. My dad's going to be the one to find me. And I was just like, I can't. Like, and but eventually there's a point where it's like,
and I felt that.
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, and I felt that when I was in Bloomington. Yeah. I was like, sorry. Like, this isn't your fault.
Yeah. And that's like, how many people have, fuck, dude, to be able to get past that point of like,
and then I'm so thankful for my dogs. Yeah. Because, like, there'd be points, like, with, like, the breakup and just feeling isolated. Like, I feel like things come in waves. And I'm more, now, me personally, right in this very moment, have better skills to adapt to the lower swings. If whatever happens, and I'm able to handle the lows. Yeah. I think that's the thing. It's like, I'm able to handle it. I won't enjoy it, but I'm able to handle it now. But in those moments where I wasn't able to handle it, I'm like, man, like these things, these living sentient beings require me to be alive so they can be alive.
I was taking Opie out with me.
There's that joke with like, I don't know if you saw it, but like when the Queen died, they're like, the corgis are going to the incinerator. Yeah. Like, I'd be like, I'd make a suicide note and be like, okay, listen, Violet, Opie, I know you guys have many more years of being alive, but you're coming with me. Sorry, I've decided.
Sorry, you gotta come with me. Yeah. Fuck, dude. Very, very scary shit.
It is. It's just like, you get to the point where I think about like where we were maybe like 2 years ago doing this podcast. I remember there was a night that I stayed up all night and then came over here and did this podcast, and I wasn't in a good spot. And it would have been right before I started taking Lexapro. And I'm thinking like I don't want to like Lexapro. I was thinking maybe before taking it that this would be the cure all, fix all, but like it's not. And what you were saying earlier, and I'm for anybody that like wants to just feel better. Because, like, nothing has happened that makes you want to be like, like, there's hope. Like, hope is hard to find. Like, I swear to God, every day, I almost feel like it's hopeless. Not for me personally, but just like say, like, having a kid, right? Like, why would you want to bring a kid into this?
Yeah, I mean, I still feel that way.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm fucking 34 without a kid, and everybody that I know, mostly, for the most part,
they got like teenagers.
Yeah, and it's not even so much like the idea of having a kid. It's just if we're going based on like the statistics of like what's gonna happen, like nothing is shown to be better. Like, no. And everything that's happened has made sense to be like, okay, well, this doesn't blow my mind, like as awful as it may be. Like it's like, wow, how could this happen? Yeah. Callous to it is the best way to say it, because you really are. You're callous to it. And I was telling my mom, I was like, so I don't know if you'd heard about it. The fucked up thing. Fucked up. So fucked up. That there in Muncie in the Walmart, I want to say a couple months ago, there was a guy that got shot in the head in the parking lot, like the fucking Muncie Walmart. And I remember thinking, like, holy shit, that's fucking awful. Like, Muncie, like, I go to that, like, when I lived there, we'd go to the Walmart all the time. So the guy that got shot was a guy I graduated with.
Oh. Sucks.
And his name was Sam. And it, like, I didn't know it was him until, like, later, and people were posting about it. And I'm like, there was no motive. There's no motive. This guy, he's pleading insanity now.
This woman shot him?
Just came up and shot him in the head in his car. There's no motive. And shot in front of his wife and his kids.
Oh!
And then you think about like how fucked up the world is when stuff like that happens. And I like Sam, I remember him in high school. He was a fucking goofball. Like I liked him, but he was a goofball. And like to think now that like his wife and his two kids, very young kids, like 2 years and younger.
Oh, they're fucked for life.
Are without their dad, and they saw this atrocious thing happen, and
that's fucked.
Isn't it? Like how quickly it could be like that. No, nothing. Wrong place, wrong time. That is what happened.
You imagine if like they're
like
Meyer?
Like, oh, hey, I need to go get some bread from Meyer. You want to go? And then imagine us getting fucking shot. Fucking insane. Yeah. And so yeah, like that. When it comes to like the title of like life's hard, yeah, life's hard. But life's unfair, and it's just what you were saying earlier about like being in the moment now is the most important thing. And it's like if I could take that advice from when I was like going through it in Bloomington, I would have tried to do it. But the idea that
also listening to anything when you're in that place is you might as well be talking to a wall.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
And if you try to give me advice, it's like, shut the fuck up.
You don't know me.
Oh my God, please just stop. Oh, go do yoga? Okay, great.
Let's end it.
You want to go eat?
Yeah, let's eat. Let's go eat. Let's go eat.
Hey guys,
let's end it on a good note.
love you.
Love you.
Bye.